For a long time, I just refused to accept that she was gone. Part of, she would never do this to us, but also part of maybe this.
Diana's story captivated millions, but behind the glamour and headlines lay secrets that shook the royal family to its core. She returned with stories filled with excitement and passion for her experiences. Now, Prince William has finally spoken out about a long-held truth regarding his mother, and it's so significant that it alters everything we believed about what really transpired in Diana's final days, along with Camilla's involvement in this shocking revelation. Let's uncover the details. Diana was seen as the villain, the third party in what was thought to be a fairy tale marriage. Although Lady Diana Spencer passed away nearly 30 years ago, her memory remains potent. Secrets are now surfacing, with the most recent revelation coming from none other than Prince William himself. To grasp the weight of his words, we must begin the story from the moment she entered the royal landscape. It was a union that mesmerized the world when Lady Diana and then Prince Charles exchanged vows on July 29, 1981. Over 750 million viewers tuned in to witness a royal wedding like no other. A shy 20-year-old Diana emerged from her glass carriage at St. Paul's Cathedral, donning a voluminous ivory gown with a train extending 25 feet, symbolizing grandeur and promise. For the public, this was a moment of sheer magic, a match seemingly made in heaven. Yet, behind the smiles and regal splendor, the seeds of discord were already taking root. Diana and Charles's relationship began in 1977 when Diana was just 16, attending a party hosted by her older sister, Sarah Spencer. At that time, Charles was involved with Sarah, but he reportedly became taken with Diana's youthful charm and innocence. It wasn't until 1980 that they rekindled their romance, which quickly became fodder for tabloid headlines. Charles proposed in February 1981 with an iconic sapphire and diamond ring, marking the beginning of what many hoped would be a fairy tale romance. Their wedding was a monumental affair, with throngs of well-wishers lining the streets of London as Diana arrived at the cathedral, radiating the image of a fairy tale princess that captivated hearts worldwide. Her youthful exuberance was the perfect counterbalance to Charles's reserved demeanor. The union was heralded as the beginning of a new chapter for the royal family, one infused with glamour and relatability. Yet even amid the glittering celebrations, troubling signs lingered beneath the surface. Those closest to Charles noted his pensive and withdrawn behavior during the engagement period. Diana, too, harbored doubts, later confiding her feelings of being overwhelmed and unprepared for the enormity of her new role. The cracks, while subtle, would only deepen with time. Becoming a royal came with unimaginable pressures, as Diana was thrust into the global spotlight, with cameras documenting her every move. While her charm earned her the public's adoration, the relentless attention proved suffocating. Paparazzi camped outside her residence, scrutinizing everything from her fashion choices to her expressions. Diana, who had previously enjoyed a relatively private life, found herself struggling with her loss of freedom. The rigid expectations of royal protocol added to her stress. Having been raised outside aristocratic circles, Lady Di lacked the insider knowledge needed to seamlessly integrate into the House of Windsor. Every misstep, real or perceived, was examined by royal courtiers and the media alike. Compounding matters, Charles often appeared distant, prioritizing royal duties and personal interests over their budding relationship. This emotional detachment weighed heavily on Diana, with reports of her feeling isolated within the palace walls creating a grim picture of her early royal life. Despite her radiant public persona, Diana battled private turmoil, grappling with loneliness and feelings of inadequacy. A shadowy figure loomed in the background, Camilla Parker Bowles. Camilla, a longtime confidant and former romantic partner of Charles, never truly exited his life, even as he prepared to marry Diana. Camilla's attendance at the royal wedding, albeit discreetly, marked a reality that Diana would come to understand deeply. As Lady Di recalled in her now famous BBC interview years later, she sensed something amiss even before their marriage. "I knew it. I knew there was somebody else in my husband's life, Camilla's presence in their relationship posed an emotional burden for Diana, who often detected subtle hints of Charles's lingering attachment to Camilla. From frequent phone calls to suspicious gifts, one troubling discovery included a personalized bracelet Charles had made for Camilla, inscribed with the initials G and F, reportedly code names for their private exchanges. This revelation, found just weeks before the wedding, devastated Diana, leading her to feel trapped. Despite these early warnings, Diana chose to proceed. She embraced her public role with remarkable grace, using her platform to advocate for causes she was passionate about, including children's welfare and HIV/AIDS awareness. However, behind closed doors, her personal struggles deepened. Throughout this tumultuous period, Diana maintained a brave front for the public but would become the stuff of royal legend. Lady Di approached Camilla and confronted her directly, stating, "I know what's happening between you and Charles," according to reports of the intense moment where she cornered Camilla in a private room. Camilla dismissed the claim, suggesting that Diana was imagining things, but Diana's composure faltered as she revealed her heartbreak. She later recounted feeling powerless in a marriage where her husband's affection seemed firmly directed elsewhere. Adding to the tension were the frequent and obvious signs of Charles's attachment to Camilla, from late-night phone calls to gifts and open displays of affection. As Diana struggled in silence, the media began piecing together the fragments of the royal love triangle, further straining the marriage. In the early 1990s, leaked tapes and sensational tabloid headlines thrust the royal family's turmoil into the public eye with shocking clarity. The first significant bombshell surfaced in 1992 with the release of the Camilla tapes, which contained private, deeply personal conversations between Charles and Camilla recorded years earlier. These tapes unveiled intimate details about their relationship, shocking the nation and making Camilla a key figure in the dissolution of Charles and Diana's marriage. In one particularly scandalous exchange, Charles expressed a desire to live inside Camilla's trousers, a statement that became a source of endless headlines and ridicule. The British public, once captivated by the fairy tale of Charles and Diana, began to turn against the Prince of Wales, with sympathy for Lady Di soaring as she was seen as the wronged and isolated party. Despite being relentlessly pursued by the press and having her every move scrutinized, Diana's popularity continued to rise as she emerged as a compassionate and relatable figure. However, beneath her public grace, Diana endured significant emotional and mental suffering. Feeling overshadowed by royal expectations and the ever-present shadow of Camilla, she spiraled into bouts of depression and self-doubt. This emotional turmoil manifested in destructive behaviors, including an ongoing battle with bulimia. Diana later revealed that her struggles were directly linked to her feelings of inadequacy and despair within the marriage. The disorder became both a cry for help and a coping mechanism for her overwhelming pressures. "It was my escape," she said in one interview, adding, "I felt like I needed to hurt myself more because I was being hurt so much inside." During this turbulent time, Diana also faced the challenge of raising two young sons, William and Harry, while striving to provide them with a sense of normalcy amid the chaos. She often concealed her struggles from them, presenting a strong and nurturing facade, even as her loneliness deepened. Those close to her noted her frequent feelings of isolation within royal life. As the reality of Charles and Camilla's relationship became undeniable, tensions within the royal family escalated. The public, already scandalized by the revelations, began questioning the integrity and morality of the monarchy. Although Diana maintained her popularity with the masses, the institution of the royal family appeared increasingly vulnerable to scrutiny. For Diana, revealing her marital struggles felt both like a personal failure and a vindication of her long-held fears. With her marriage hanging by a thread, she confided in friends about her suspicions that the affair had begun even before her wedding. These revelations only intensified her anguish and confirmed that the fairy tale she had once envisioned was built on a foundation of lies. As Diana's personal struggles became widely known and Charles faced escalating scrutiny, the stage was set for even greater revelations. The tensions within the royal family signaled deeper secrets waiting to emerge. What other hardships had Diana faced? How far-reaching was Camilla's influence, and to what extent did it alter the royal family's destiny? The answers awaited in a series of events that would not only redefine the monarchy, but also rewrite the narrative of Princess Diana's life. Stay tuned, as we will soon uncover how these revelations culminated in one of the most explosive divorces in royal history and the shocking twists yet to come. It was a bit crowded. Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it felt a bit cramped. This pointed reference to Camilla Parker Bowles confirmed what the public had long suspected. Charles's relationship with Camilla played a crucial role in the breakdown of their union. Lady Di also opened up about her mental health struggles and how she coped with feelings of isolation and rejection. "I was crying out for help but giving the wrong signals," she admitted, painting a harrowing picture of life behind palace walls. This unprecedented openness from a royal was both groundbreaking and controversial. While many applauded Diana for her honesty and courage, others within royal circles viewed the interview as a breach of protocol and an embarrassment to the monarchy. Charles, who had already acknowledged his affair with Camilla in a televised interview the year prior, found himself further vilified in the court of public opinion. The Queen, meanwhile, recognized that the marriage had become untenable. With tensions running high and the royal family's reputation at stake, the push for an official divorce intensified. In December 1995, just weeks after Diana's Panorama interview aired, the Queen wrote to both Diana and Charles urging them to divorce. Reluctantly, the couple agreed, which set the stage for months of negotiation. The divorce was finalized on August 28, 1996, marking the end of their rocky 15-year marriage. Diana received a substantial settlement, reportedly amounting to $22 million, along with an annual allowance to maintain her lifestyle. However, the final terms of the divorce came with one particularly painful concession. Diana was stripped of her title as Her Royal Highness. From that point forward, she would simply be known as Diana, Princess of Wales. Losing the HRH title was a devastating blow for Diana, symbolizing her formal expulsion from the royal family. Nevertheless, she remained deeply committed to her sons, and her bond with William and Harry provided solace during this challenging period. Despite the divorce, Diana and Charles agreed to share custody of their children, and Diana continued to perform some public duties, albeit on a much more limited scale. Her focus shifted to humanitarian work, with causes such as landmine eradication and AIDS awareness occupying much of her time. She seemed to find renewed purpose in her post-royal life, but the shadow of her marriage and the heartache it caused never truly lifted. While the formal dissolution of their marriage marked the end of one chapter, it was far from the conclusion of the turmoil surrounding Diana and the royal family. Surprisingly, her separation from the House of Windsor only heightened public curiosity about her life and relationships. Speculation regarding Diana's future, her growing estrangement from the royal family, and her connection with her sons continued to dominate headlines. Yet, as history would tragically reveal, the final chapters of Diana's life were far from free of controversy or heartbreak. The seeds of resentment, rivalry, and betrayal sown during her marriage continued to shape her legacy and, as some would later argue, played a role in her untimely demise. What of Prince William, the eldest son of Diana and Charles? Burdened with the weight of a family fractured by scandal, would he one day reflect on his mother's story with his own revelations that could shake the monarchy to its very foundation? Behind the scenes, the wounds from these tumultuous years continued to influence the dynamics of the royal family and the lives of Diana's sons. Freed from the constraints of her marriage, Diana embarked on a journey of independence and self-reinvention. Her humanitarian efforts, which had always been dear to her heart, became a defining characteristic of her post-royal life. From visiting AIDS patients during the height of the epidemic to campaigning against landmines in war-torn regions, Diana's empathy and courage shone brightly. Her work earned her the nickname, the People's Princess, reflecting the deep affection she continued to inspire worldwide. While Diana flourished publicly, her personal life remained under relentless media scrutiny. Her relationship with film producer Dodi Fayed attracted widespread attention, as did her travels and lifestyle choices. The paparazzi's obsession reached dangerous heights, culminating in a relentless chase that would have fatal consequences. Diana also focused on raising her sons, pouring her love and energy into instilling a sense of compassion and groundedness in William and Harry, which contrasted sharply with the formalities of royal life. Her dedication to her sons forged a lasting bond, and her influence on their upbringing helped shape them into the modern, relatable figures we recognize today. As Diana reclaimed her life, Prince Charles faced a different set of challenges. The public fallout from his affair with Camilla was immense, and their relationship was met with widespread disapproval in its early stages. Camilla, often vilified in the press, temporarily retreated from public life, while Charles worked to repair his image. The scandal and heartbreak of Charles and Diana's marriage left a lasting imprint on the monarchy itself. For decades, by the early 1990s, the fissures in the marriage between Princess Diana and Prince Charles had developed into irreparable chasms. Years of infidelity, public scrutiny, and emotional discord had taken their toll on what was once celebrated as the royal fairy tale of the century. It was only a matter of time before the facade crumbled, plunging the couple and the monarchy into uncharted territory. On December 9, 1992, British Prime Minister John Major stood before the House of Commons to deliver an announcement that would shock the world. Speaking on behalf of the Queen, he stated, "It is announced from Buckingham Palace that, with regret, the Prince and Princess of Wales have decided to separate." This public disclosure of their separation marked a pivotal moment for the royal family, which had traditionally upheld a strict code of privacy regarding personal matters. However, by that time, the public cracks in Diana and Charles's marriage had left the palace with little choice. Leaked tapes, open admissions of discontent, and own life on multiple occasions. According to insiders, the day of Diana's tragic accident was marked by a chilling incident that Prince William has kept to himself for years. Diana reportedly received a threatening phone call from none other than Camilla Parker Bowles just hours before the fatal crash in Paris. Allegedly, William overheard this conversation during a visit to Kensington Palace when he was a young boy. A royal aide, unaware that William was nearby, spoke with Diana and revealed shocking claims about the call. Camilla reportedly warned Diana to refrain from making any further public appearances or continuing her highly visible humanitarian work. The alleged message was blunt and deeply unsettling. "If you don't step away, there will be consequences." The thought of Camilla issuing such a threat and then witnessing his mother's death so soon after has haunted William into adulthood. Although it was just a fragment of a conversation he overheard as a child, it's said to have left an indelible mark on his psyche. The weight of these memories has reportedly taken years for William to process fully, and he carries this with him like a scar. The source continued that William remembers how Diana cried uncontrollably the night before her departure for Paris. She was terrified and stressed beyond anything he had ever seen before. Now, William believes Camilla's actions had a direct impact on his mother's state of mind. While the official narrative surrounding Diana's death has always focused on the car crash in the Pont El Alma tunnel, largely attributed to the driver's intoxication and the paparazzi's relentless pursuit, William reportedly thinks there is much more to the story. If these allegations prove to be true, the implications for the royal family are staggering. The Windsors have worked tirelessly to move beyond the scandals of the past, but this revelation from William has pulled those ghosts back into the spotlight. For the future king, speaking out has been a necessary but painful choice. William understands the gravity of his words and how they could potentially shake the very foundations of the institution he is meant to uphold. However, his loyalty to his mother outweighs everything else. In the end, do you think Camilla could truly be the one responsible for Diana's tragic passing?